Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week we're looking at the new Filterverse update, version 1.2. So looking to the Gearspace page where the press release was listed, we see the following new features. We have 5 new filter modules. We have the Valley, which is a band reject filter. We have Deep Phase, which is really quite a psychedelic sounding phaser. We have the Fibonacci Chorus, which is based on the golden ratio. We have BarberPole, to get those constantly increasing or decreasing shepherd's tones. We have Time Warp, which really specializes in stutter and reverse and kind of glitchy effects. Then we have several other basically workflow improvements. So let's get to it. Let's have a listen to how some of these new filters sound. So here on this project, I have basically just a little drum and bass kind of skeleton, if you like. And at the moment, there is no Filterverse on it, and there's been no mixing at all. Everything is essentially at Unity. So let's have a listen to what we have, and it probably sound rubbish because, like I said, there's no mixing or there's no production on it.
It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action.
So we have this drum bass loop here. We have a snare because I didn't like the original one. This is from my drum and bass pack. I'll put a link in the description. We have a percussion loop.
It's a chemical reaction.
We have just some vocals.
It's time to take action.
And the gnarly reese here.
Take action.
I'm just going to temporarily mute the vocals because they'll drive me crazy having that repeated constantly. And then we will start just with the loop. Now the first thing I want to do is add a evil filter. It's not one of the new 5, it's in the previous release, it came before this I think. But I just want to add a bit of drive to this loop, and this is the perfect filter to do it. Let's also, while we're here, let's put it on high pass. I'm going to turn this right down, and then let's have a listen. Let's turn the drive up. And off. Just going to turn the cutoff slightly up, basically just to take out some of the really low information. Let's go around there. I think that sounds good. Once again, let's turn it off. And on. Really nice. So let's leave it like that. Next we have the snare. And let's copy Filterverse and let's put that on the snare track like so. And we will initialize that. And here I just want to add a bit of character to this snare. It's a bit bland sounding at the moment. So let's first go to the cabinator. Once again, not one of the new features. We'll get to those in a moment. Let's add some gain. And bypass. And with the loop. That's already sounding much better. Let's see what else we can do. Let's go to the second one. And here we'll add basically one of my favorites. And you're going to hear that phrase a lot. They're all essentially my favorites. But the evil filter. Once again, let's put that on high pass. So we'll cut out again some of the lows. And the drive because I love it so much on this filter. Bypassed, and in, and then for the final one, let's just give it a bit of reverb with space. So obviously turn the dry wet down substantially. Just a bit of reverb, just a tiny bit. once again off. And with the loop. So I think that's working quite well. Next we have our percussion, our top loop essentially. And once again, no surprises, we're going to add a bit of drive on this. Let's have a listen to those three in context. Let's keep an eye on the level. It seems I'm peaking now. Let's drop this down. Let's go to the last one, and here, let's go across to the third slot, and here we will add clear glass, turn up high pass, and then we'll just basically take out the lows from there. So let's solo this. Just so they're not interfering with anything else. And then we'll also do that on the snare. So let's copy that one across. We don't want another ether filter. Well, we might, but not necessarily. Let's turn it off for now. Now, next on our list is the vocals, but we'll skip over for them now, and we'll go to the fun one, the Reese. So currently this sounds like this. Now here, I'm going to show you a bit of a trick. The Filterverse routing can sometimes be a bit tricky when you're trying to route MIDI to it. So the suggested method is to set up a separate MIDI track and then send MIDI to it. However, I've discovered this little trick in Ableton. So you'll notice that I have Serum here. Serum is playing basically just this patch. It is incredibly basic. I just have a saw set to 16 voices. The detune and blend is set to default. There is no filter. There are no effects. This is disabled. I could even remove it completely. There is no modulation, and the only other thing I have going other than the voices on the saw is a bit of legato, and that sounds like this. So what I'm going to do, let's add a Filterverse. I'm going to put that at the end of the chain, and you'll notice that Serum is sitting within inside an instrument rack, and the reason for that is because if we expand this out, let's go up to here, we'll go Instrument, External instrument. Let's drag that down. So now both of these two channels are receiving the same MIDI, but you'll notice that there's no pass-through to Filterverse. And by pass-through, I mean that the MIDI on this channel isn't being seen by Filterverse. So if it was, this little keyboard icon, this should light up. And you can see nothing's happening. So like I said, the recommendation is to add a separate MIDI track and then send it to this instance of Filterverse. And that's a bit of a faff because then you double the channels. You've got two instances of the MIDI going on. It's quite hard to keep track of. Instead, in this external instrument channel, go up to here, MIDI, and then we will go, it is called Reese. I have this on, and then we can choose Filterverse. So now when I play this back, you'll see this light up because it's receiving MIDI on the same channel. And anything I do on this MIDI is instantly going to be reflected in this Filterverse instance. So let's have some fun then with the new features. Let's initialize this one. And we're going to add a valley. And instantly you can hear just what kind of destruction this is going to bring. Let's add some drive, because I can never get enough of that. Bit of spread to increase the width of this valley. We obviously don't want it too much because we want a bit of balls there. And now let's add a MIDI via the MIDI CV module. So MIDI notes, and this is going to receive MIDI because we set that up at the start. Let's put that on the cutoff. Let's put this on 12. So it's going to go up an octave. Let's try 36. And you'll notice it's going the opposite way to what we want. Essentially, I want it to go unipolar, but currently it's going down because it's using the MIDI note as the driver. And obviously, because it's a bass sound, the MIDI notes are quite low, which is why it's coming down into this region here. So there are a couple ways to fix this. I could go and increase the MIDI notes. I could put them in a higher octave and then change the patch in Serum. For example, turn the octaves up here. But instead, let's go to Ableton and we'll choose a pitch module or pitch device, and then we'll put this up 36, and now this MIDI will be responding to 3 octaves higher than the Reese sound. Boom, there we go. Now we're up here. It's a bit too jumpy, so let's turn the glide up. That's sounding quite good. Let's see what we can do with a bit of distortion, bit of cabinator. There we go, I think that's working. Let's turn it off. Quite bland and boring in comparison. And it's very hissy and very noisy, in fact. And let's give it some kick and bass. Now there's one extra thing I want to do on this Reese. I'm going to create another Filterverse instance, so let's duplicate that. I know I have a spare slot here, but I may come back and add a different effect on this, so I want to keep that spare for now. And then here, once again, initialize. I'm just going to solo the Reese, solo the loop here. I'm going to send this to send A. And I'm going to send this out of this, the Reese, into the sidechain of the second Filterverse. So now when I open this up, we should see this little CV light come on. And indeed, yep. And here, let's just put this to a bypass module. Basically, because I don't want any effect happening, I just want a bit of a ducking effect. Let's turn this to a envelope follower, put it on sidechain. And you can see this little line here, this input, is responding to the loop. So if we now attach that to the output here as a negative output, every time the loop hits, then the output volume is going to drop. And to get that sounding right, we need to adjust the threshold so it's only coming in momentarily. Just on the peaks, essentially. Turn down the release so it's releasing shortly after the kick hits and the snare. And just with a bit of fine tuning, we have this now. Now let's move on to the vocal loop. Let's listen back to what we had for this one.
It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action.
And then we will grab our Filterverse, put this on here, initialize. So it's sounding okay. I'm not too impressed with it. I think it's too, too weak sounding. And I want to change it into a male voice. And to do that, we're going to use a time warp, one of the new modules.
It's a chemical reaction.
Let's reduce the grain size.
It's a chemical reaction.
Turn the feedback up a little bit.
It's a chemical reaction.
It's time to take action.
And there we go.
It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action.
Suddenly we've completely changed the formant of this vocal. And essentially all we've done is just basically slowed it down. So I probably misspoke when I said change the format. We've just basically just changed the pitch to make it more of a male sounding voice now. Let's now add a cabinator. You'll see a bit of a trend. This is another one of my favorites.
It's time to take action.
Turn the gain up.
It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action.
Now, I think that sounds much better with it being a male or a deeper sounding voice than what it was before.
It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action.
Now, I think one more final thing just to show off the Fibonacci Chorus and the BarberPole. Let's go to our Reese here. I'm going to duplicate this track. Get rid of the second Filterverse. The first one we will initialize. And then here we'll also do the same on Serum, initialize presets. And the only thing we're going to do here is turn the voices up, once again, 16, and absolutely nothing else, not even the legato. So we have this. And it's just going to play that until the end of time, until we introduce Filterverse. Once again, the trick that I mentioned at the start, Filterverse is receiving MIDI via the external instrument. First up, let's add our BarberPole. We want it to go up. Turn the resonance up. And I think you can already hear where this is headed. Depth, let's turn that all the way up as well. Bit of stereo, because why not? Let's add a sequencer here. Let's go to the D shapes. Let's turn all the way down. We want it to be unipolar. One step. There we go. Now we get a bit of a ramp going up. And we'll attach that to the resonance. Just a bit. Let's do it over 2 bars, I think. Let's now maybe add our time warp. We'll attach that also to our sequencer. Let's turn this down though, so it goes backwards. And don't forget, this is just coming from that boring old saw that we had in Serum. And for the third one, we will add our new Fibonacci Chorus. Let's attach the frequency to our sequencer also. Now that's sounding good. It's constantly playing. Like every 2 bars, this is going to loop over. So instead, let's add a sequencer here. Turn the rate up to 4 bars. Unipolar again, let's turn this all the way down. To be honest, we can just do C, shape C, and then steps. 16 is fine. And then for the last ones, we're going to turn this up. And then we're going to cross-modulate the sequencer level. Let's turn that up to 100. So now what will happen is, for the first 3 bars, nothing will happen. And then for the final bar, the sequencer will turn the depth of sequencer 1 up. So we'll play this back, it'll be nothing, nothing, nothing. And then you'll get the sequencer come in, which will then drive this modulation above. Let's just turn the rate of this down to 1 because we only have 1 bar playing here. And let's add, I think we can also add a sequencer here, and I'm going to modulate the resonance level. So currently I have the rate set to 1 bar, but I want to increase that when the sequencer rises. So let's choose sequencer 1 as the depth for that. Well, let's not go too crazy. Let's go around, I don't know, around there. So you can see what's happening. When this gets to the 4th bar, then the sequencer will trigger, which will then drive the speed, will increase the speed of the sequencer. See now. I will also cross-modulate the depth of this with sequencer 1 also. And the final thing, I only want this to be a riser, so I don't want it to be playing constantly throughout the track. See, I only want it to come in the last bar here. So let's go to the Fibonacci Chorus. Well, not necessarily that one, but the last module in Filterverse. Turn the filter out down, essentially the master output level. You could also do this on the main out. And they're going to increase the output via sequencer 1. Let's go 80. Nothing, 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 nothing. And there we go. Because I'm having fun, let's duplicate this. So we have exactly the same thing going on here. The reason why I did that was to keep the modulation. Let's turn the last one off, middle one off as well, just for now. And then here, we'll change the BarberPole to deep phase, one of the new modules. And actually, I'm just going to go back to here as well. I'm going to disable this just so I can hear what I'm doing. We'll turn the spread down as well via sequencer 1. Don't want any drive on this. And then we'll turn the resonance. We don't want any modulation on that. Let's give it a bit of reverb. So here we'll change the time warp to space. We don't want a modulation there. We'll turn the depth down. We'll turn the pre-delay off as well. Let's go back to the previous module, and then we will reactivate this. It was 80. So we have that really cool sounding kind of riser now. So let's listen back to everything.
It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction. It's time to take action. It's a chemical reaction.
A huge update for Filterverse, and it's free obviously. So go check it out and have fun. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.